Hey everybody, it's Chris. This is Jamal. We met in the street the other day in Port of Spain. He watches the videos, and he had a chance to come up to me, and we had a chance to pray and get to know each other. And he came by tonight over to our place here, and he's going to give his testimony about how he met Jesus and some supernatural things that he's been experiencing. So go ahead, Jamal.
I'm giving this testimony because of what my little sister told me 2 days ago. That really pushed me forward to come and say it. So I will start by that point because it tied into some things of my childhood that I will further on continue. I mean explain. So I was in my room now about to read my Bible. And my little sister came and was standing there behind me. So I asked her what she wanted. And then she came and told me that, how do I know about the things that she sees at night? But the following night, I was explaining to my parents that I saw some demons in the house some days ago, and she was there. So she came and told this to me, and when she told me that, I remembered the things that I used to see while I was a child. And I guess I was start from there. Ever since I was small, like from 7 years old, it started. I used to wake up in the middle of the night and just see these things in the room standing there watching me while I slept. And it was very uneasy, unsettling. And my parents used to tell me that it was just my imagination playing tricks on me. But the thing is, they weren't just standing there, they used to move. And while they were moving, I was actually hearing footsteps. So my parents convinced me that this was my imagination. So I learned to actually just get used to these things. So when I used to see them, I used to just take my sheet and put it over my head and pat it over my head. But this created breathing problems. So my parents used to come and take away my comfort from actually seeing these things. So one night, it actually grew to a point, like instead of just standing there, like it changed. They weren't just watching me. It was different that night. I woke up, my pillow was gone, and my sheet, the safety net. And as I'm watching my bedroom door, someone left the door open. But I realized this night that I wasn't seeing anything. It was strange. And as I was watching the door opened some more. When it opened some more, my head peeped in the door. I remember thinking, like, if there's my father coming in the room or whatever. But the head that peeped in and looked like an ugly guy. It looked like the guy from Street Fighter, Akuma. And it scared the crap out of me, to be honest. Excuse my language. And as he opens the door, like he's opening it to let something in the room pass in. And his foot sticks in. I thought he was going to come in the room. And as this going on, like he stopped the door at a certain angle. And while he stopped the door, a little black mass just came in the room floating above the ground. And I'm watching this thing moving towards my bed. So I started thinking, like, is it really moving? Because I tried to convince myself that it's not moving. But I realized as I looked around and looked back, the distance between it and the door is actually increasing, so it's coming closer. And while I was coming closer now, I was thinking if to call my dad or call my mom, but they used to tell me that these things were just my imagination playing tricks on me. So I was really in a situation I didn't know what to do. So I'm just watching it as it just floats closer to my bed. And as it came closer, I just had no choice, I just screamed. And my dad came in the room, he put on the light and he asked me what's going on. And I told him I was seeing things again, Dad. But this time it was moving. And he told me, like, he just released a sigh because, you know, there's no big deal. And he explained to me and told me again that I have an active imagination again because I used to draw a lot. So I just created these things in my head. So I just convinced myself that what he was telling me was the truth, and I just shut off. So after that now, that's when the last time I actually stopped seeing it was when that happened. I stopped seeing these things in my head after that time. And I started to go to high school or secondary school. And first day of school, these guys, by enough, was talking about masturbation. But they made it seem like if you know, it's the next best thing since sliced bread. So we just stood there and we were talking about it. And it's the first time I actually heard about it. No, not the first time, the second time. My neighbor was talking about it, but I didn't pay any attention. So this time I decided to pay attention. And they explained what they do and all that. So the following night, that same night now, I went home. I was taking a shower and I remembered what they were talking about. I had to see if what was what. and I tried it. It wasn't all that, and I just dismissed it. The next day in school now they were talking about it again. But from the night when I tried it, I had a dream that I was in my house sitting down, and I felt like something outside the back door that was trying to come up, but it's hard to describe. I wasn't actually seeing it, but it was feeling something evil, like trying to come through the back door. And I would run to try to close it, but it would come and just push me away and just come in the house. And that is when that sort of dream started. Sometimes it would come and I would be able to close the door, or sometimes it would stick his foot in and then slam it open. Sometimes when I close the door, someone else would come and open it. So afterwards, this dream kept on happening. And these guys were talking about the masturbation again almost every day. And then one day I ended up watching porn. So now I started to mix it with that. And the dreams began to get worse. So a couple of years passed, I keep on doing this. I ended up moving to a different house. So when we moved to this house now, I met a lady. And she did a Bible study every weekend. So it was 8 of us, 4 guys and 4 girls. So she used to teach us the Bible, and this when I first learned about Jesus, like actually who he was and what he came here to do. So I was actually interested. I used to look forward to go sometimes. No, I didn't even look forward to go, but when I arrived there and she started talking about him, I was interested and I didn't want to leave. So afterwards, after going to this Bible study, one night she decided, no, she was telling me about the save, the prayer where you save yourself. Like a prayer for salvation. I can't remember the name. Yeah, the prayer of salvation. Prayer? Yeah, the salvation prayer. She told me about that, and I felt it in my heart that I should say it. So that same night, I actually said it, and I felt, revealed, tears came to my eye and whatnot. I didn't know that this is not true at all. There's no way you could be accepted into heaven by just saying one prayer and then living your life and saying much important and massive. That doesn't make no sense. So afterwards, when I said this prayer, things started happening that it was much worse than before. Like it ceased, but after this, it started up again. One night now, I was in my bed, about to fall asleep, and I sleep on a bunk bed at that time. And as I'm about to fall asleep, like the part where you're actually awake and when you're actually asleep, something just whispered in my ears. It said good night. Now, everybody else was sleeping, and I alone was watching the television, and I just went to my bed. So I got up and I looked around the room. My brother was sleeping. He was all cold. He was snoring hard. My sister in the next room next door, she was sleeping. Everybody was sleeping. And I alone was in the room up. But I just dismissed it as, like a dream was not beginning and somebody in the dream said good night. So I convinced myself that I was dreaming while I was awake. So the next night afterwards now, that same moment where I'm about to sleep and I'm being awake, something grabbed me while I was lying down on my bed. Now this was different. I got up and I was just shocked because I didn't believe what just happened. So I looked around again. My brother was sleeping, my sister was sleeping, nobody was in the room. So I got off my bed and I looked around just to make sure if anyone was hiding in the closet or whatnot. Nobody was there. So I decided to look in my sister's room who was next door sleeping. So I peeped through the door to see if she was playing the fool or whatnot. As I peeped through the door, I'm like, before I open it, like I was pushing it open, I was hearing like voices talking. I thought she was on her phone talking, but there was like different groups. Like it was sound like 5 men talking in the room, whatnot. So I thinking like a conference call, a group call. When I open the room now, she's just knuckle cold sleeping, and I see like silhouettes moving around her. So with that now, I just closed the door and I went back and lie down, and I was just convincing myself that I didn't see anything. So I went to sleep that night. Afterwards, I keep on hearing the footsteps and the voices in the night. But one night, I actually saw something like full figure. And then when I was talking to one of the niggas from the Bible study club, it was after 10 in the night. And as we were talking in the road on the pavement, she looks to the side and she has a kind of expression on her face that she just saw something weird. So then she looks back to me and we started talking again. But I looked to see what she was just looking at. And as I look now, I just did a quick glance, like a quick thing, and looked back. Like it registered as my head turned from this angle to this angle, like it was rolling up, like what I just saw. And when it really registered in my brain, I took a second look. And it was like this ghastly figure. It was grey. The face was blacked out, and it had like these white kind of accents on his face, standing by the corner watching us. And I told her, "Did you just see that?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, where's that?" And she was like, "That's a zombie." But in Trinidad, in my country, we call like these ghosting, these apparition zombies. So with that now, I told her I was gone, and I went home, and she went home. So after this event now, we moved to our next apartment. Oh, during all this time, I was still masturbating and watching porn and whatnot. And I was still having the same dream where the thing used to come through the background, pushing and whatnot. But I had another dream. I was in school, and the people that I knew that told me about the masturbation was there in the school. And some of the people that I did not know. And I looked up, it was in the gym where we got a first assembly. I looked up at the ceiling, and suddenly this same black thing that I saw that entered the room while I was a child was there. But this time it was bigger. And they started talking to me and telling me, all these people you see here, I claim these people. And I'm coming for you just now. Like, that's what they didn't really say those exact words, but that is, I can't remember the exact words, but that is what it was. I looked at it and I looked at the people. I looked back at it and I told it not while I'm here. And with that, like, it got sucked into a kind of a chamber of some kind and was locked up here. That was the last time I saw it for like 5 years, something like that. So after we moved to this new place, I told myself I would stop masturbating. I stopped for a couple of months, for a long while. And then suddenly one day I was home, I was bored, and I started to watch porn and masturbate again. And then the same dream occurred where the thing used to come through the back door and push its way inside. I was still having that same dream again. As this continued, me keep on masturbating. I told myself I would not masturbate again because this really ain't making no sense. Because when I did it, I used to feel empty inside, like something was missing. So I stopped again. And instead of doing that, I decided to go online in the afternoons and party and drink and whatnot. So I ended up going out in the afternoon with some friends. We just used to just go and buy one set of alcohol, like a whole lot of bottles, and just sit down and just drink. Some used to be smoking, doing drugs and whatnot. So I used to just partake in it sometimes. So the following day now, that we did this for like, I think for like 3 times. And each time I used to be close to the point of being drunk, but I was still able to walk home and I used to be smoking weed. But on the 3rd time when I did it, I was feeling this pain in my chest the next day while I woke up. And I told myself I'm not smoking again and I'm not drinking again. So I said I would just stay home and just draw and relax myself. So that same night, I told myself I would stop. Like the following day while I woke up with the pain in my chest, my brother was going out that night. And he asked me if I wanted to go with him. I told him no. So he went out. So I just stayed home and I was bored again. Porn available, so I decided to go and watch porn. I ended up masturbating again. So I went and sleep. As I'm sleeping now, I woke to the lights, like someone threw the light on in the room, and I got up. But when I woke up, I saw my brother in the room, and I'm trying to speak to him to tell him to stop making so much noise because I'm trying to sleep. But no sound came out my mouth. And with this now, I'm watching him and I'm trying to speak and I'm trying to move, but I can't move. And he just goes around the room normal as he would changing his clothes and I'm back on his stuff and whatnot. But I decided to look in the corner because I was seeing like someone was standing in the corner of the room. I thought that was his friend. So I looked in the corner and this woman was there, just floating off the ground. She had on a big black hat. And she was just watching him. Like he wasn't seeing her, but I was seeing her. And I was trying to tell him that who's this and why he not really reacting to it. But like he wasn't seeing it. So I'm trying to warn him and tell him that it was there. Got no sound coming up. And then he flicked off the lights and went outside. And the lady is still there in the room watching to see if he will come back. I'm trying to move, but as I looked at the lady now, and I realized some things at the bottom of her dress were moving. So I followed the trail of what was moving and it came up to my bed. And I looked at the side of my bed where my hands and feet were, and it was just these hands, like just tons of hands just holding me down on the bed. And I realized that is the reason why I can't move. And when that now he came back in the room and switched the light on. And the lady was still there watching him and he just going around the room normal. And I got to the point where I just couldn't take it. I was trying to speak, but nothing was happening. I just got fed up. And I closed my eyes and I was trying my best to move. And I just moved. And the lady disappeared. And I got up my bed and tell him, won't you see me trying to call you? And he's like, no, I swear you were sleeping. So with that now, I'm trying to tell him, you sure you didn't hear me trying to call you? And he's just telling me no. So I just sat down on the bed and I was thinking if what I just experienced was reality. But everything played out smooth, like there was no pause in between it. It just kept on playing. Like I saw the lady, he was moving. Then he came back in the room, the lady was moving again. And when I got out of it, his clothes were still up, all the things he put down was still there in the same spot exactly. So with that now, after that happened, I just dismissed it. I prayed as I was dreaming. So afterwards, I decided to stop masturbating again. And that went on for a good while. Like I stopped completely. It seemed pointless. I was actually disgusted at it. And I told myself I wouldn't really do it again. Some months flew by and whatnot. And again, I'm home alone. I got bored again. And I decided, when was the last time you did this? Go and try it again. So as I'm watching the porn, I was walking to the bathroom to wash my hands, I think. And suddenly this gust of wind just blew through the bathroom window. Now the bathroom window is about this size. And the gust of wind that was coming through that window, it was unbelievable. It just blew down everything. It blew up the curtain. It just blew me and it was actually pushing against my body. And I'm thinking to myself, as this is blowing me, this has to be a sign from God. Don't masturbate. So I just stopped and I said, no, I'm not doing this again. And I went my way. I stopped there for a while. But eventually, as they say, the devil likes idle people. There again, I was idle. And I went again and I masturbated. And right now, the same dreams that I had before, we think pushing through the door was happening again. But afterwards, we ended up moving to a different house. And when we reached to this house, I told myself I will not do it in this new house. And I didn't want to make the house unclean with my activities. So this went on for a good while. I didn't do it. And again, I was bored again, so I did it again. And I was really fighting not to do it, but I was finding myself still falling into it. I didn't want to do it, but I used to just push myself. Like, something used to push me to do it, and I didn't really have control to say. It was hard to explain. So I started praying to God and asking Him, if He could help me stop this, why I'm still doing this, if I don't want to do it. So a while passed, I started to read my Bible, and I stumbled upon I decided to go and research online, see what the benefits of masturbating and why it's not bad, and if it's not good for you. So this guy was saying it's good for your prostate so you wouldn't get prostate cancer. Another guy was saying that clogged pipes burst. So I just accepted these things to continue. I continued again, and the same dreams would keep on happening over and over and over. So I decided to go again to research it again because I was still feeling empty whenever I did it. So I went and I researched it. And a guy was saying not to do it because it's not beneficial for you at all. And if he was actually saying the opposite, he was saying if he actually was masturbating, you would be more likely to get prostate cancer. But only one person alone was saying this, and the rest of the internet was just pushing everything else. So I just told myself that this guy was talking stupidness and the rest of the people was talking the truth. So I continued and I took it. Then I was doing research again, and this guy was talking about some guys that worship Satan, the Bule, that is a kind of African tribe. They actually masturbate in coffins to please demons or whatnot. And when I heard that, I actually stopped. That was the point for me right there. I stopped. Told myself I can't be doing the same thing that the Satan is doing in coffins. That's something really unnatural with that. And the way you felt when it was finished, something was like, I felt just weird on the whole. Like, it was that feeling kind of hard to explain. So I stopped. And I continued watching more videos on it. And I saw Chris's video which says that masturbation is a satanic ritual. So that put the final nail in the coffin to stop. And I stopped at that point. So I kept on watching more videos because I decided to know if these demons really exist and all these things was happening, I mean God really exists. I started to read my Bible more and pray often. And I was praying to God to help Him stop me from actually lusting after these girls and whatnot. And as I stopped masturbating and doing all these stupidness, like I would just get these dreams with some girl come in my dream and just overpower me. I couldn't really fight back at all. Like, I used to just go along with it and I couldn't control myself. And these dreams kept on happening and happening over and over. And I kept telling myself that I'll stop masturbating. But at the end of the night, this will come and happen. So it will kind of stopping the masturbation wasn't making sense because the same act was actually taking place while I was dreaming. And I was having these dreams. So I prayed to God to help me because I couldn't help myself in the dream. And then like one night, I was able to help myself. And when the girl came again, I rebuked her in the name of Jesus. And mother told her that it transformed into a demon. I was hissing and getting on crazy. I just dismissed it and started to laugh because, it actually worked. I told it in the name of Jesus and it just backed off. So I was hysterical, I was laughing in the dream and I just dismissed it. Afterwards, it started back again. I had no control over it. And I kept praying and praying, asking God to help me be lost. And eventually it stopped. And then I got the dream again with the black mass. But before I got the dream, I was trying to do self-deliverance. I was praying against the demons and whatnot. And I got the dream with the black mass again. I was walking through a garden and it appeared, but this time it was bigger. But when I was speaking, I wasn't understanding what I was saying. It sounded strange, it sounded demonic. Kind of harsh, raspy voice. And I just woke up out of the dream. So I realized that I'm seeking God, but these things still happening. And I was thinking to myself, maybe I'm not doing it right. So I broke down the night and I started to cry and pray to Jesus and ask him if I am actually following his words correctly, if I'm doing something wrong, and if he could show me what I'm doing wrong, and if I'm going in the right direction. Then that same night, a dream happened again. But the dream was different. It wasn't like the other dreams. I was walking down the road and there's a group of people walking past. And suddenly this guy looks up in the sky and he's like, who's that red guy in the sky? But some people just ignore them, keep walking past. But I just ignore him too because he sounded like he was crazy, so I just walked past him. And when I walked by a few steps, our next guy looked up and said, no, the guy is wearing white. And the man was complaining about he wasn't red. Next guy was saying he was in white. Then like 5 other guys were saying them seeing a guy in red. Then like our next guy, like 2 people alone was seeing a guy in white. So I decided to see what the post was all about. So I looked up and I saw a guy in white looking down. And he was smiling. And at that same moment, like, words just entered my heart. And it was saying, keep pushing in this direction and you will find me. Like, it was reassuring the way he looked now. And at that point, I knew it was Jesus. And I woke up and I started crying. Because, he spoke to me and told me I'm going in the right direction and keep pushing. I actually crying so loud I actually woke up my brother. And I tried to stifle myself and I went back to sleep. So I woke up the next day with a new motivation to push towards Jesus. I kept watching the videos, seeing what I need to give away and all the things I need to give up. So I gave up playing video games, watching television, senseless music. I gave up everything totally. I should just sit down with my Bible and I came home from work and read till night and then pray. And when I came home from work, I was so happy. I should just kneel down and pray one time. And as I'm praying, I started to get closer to God. I started to feel a peace. It was unexplainable. I should just be happy just to sit down and just pray. And before I found it hard to do, to just, when people used to say that they should go man pray, that was kind of hard to comprehend. But I actually knew what they were speaking about. You actually feel drawn. You want to please him. You want to follow all the rules, and you don't want to make him sad. So as I'm pushing, I'm growing in faith, and I was actually very happy. As the best decision I ever made. And one night while I was in the yard exercising, because I saw a video where Chris was saying that once you push closer to God, you start to see demons. I told myself, how come since I was small, I haven't really seen any. And while I'm exercising, I saw something that looked like a cat in the dream. I didn't want to be distracted by it, so I just kept continuing. But in my peripheral vision, it wasn't looking like a cat exactly. So I looked across and I saw like a little creature with big eyes just watching me in the dream. As I'm looking at it, it started to disappear slowly and slowly and slowly. So with that now, I stopped what I was doing and I went inside. Because it was kind of unsettling. I told myself, after I reached inside, I said that must be a demon and not me pushing closer to God, so that's why he's showing these things to me. So I said, here's what I'll go and pray. So I went and take a bath and I was going to kneel down and pray. As I'm kneeling down to pray, I just felt something evil behind me. So I just looked around quick, like a quick glance. And there's this thing standing there like 8 foot, 9 foot in the hallway. It was almost reaching the ceiling. And I just looked at it and it was like just a black mass. And it disappeared the same way as a small creature, but it was much faster. Like it was like a poof. And with that, I just said to God that I saw him in the corner there. And I remember the videos what Chris was saying that just to burn them, and I started spraying and burning it and whatnot. And I felt really happy. I prayed for like half an hour. Afterwards I decided to read my Bible. I sat down, I put my Bible, and I actually feel in the spirit, pushing me to read and reading the words. Then afterwards, I started to feel like something bothering me in my head, like random thoughts just entering in my head. I told myself, this must be Satan. So I say, so I rebuke him in Jesus' name. And I said, move. And I said it with authority, and my mind just cleared totally, like nothing was passing through my mind. And that same speed now, as I started about to read the Bible, there was a flash and a bang came from right behind me. But there was nothing behind me at all because I was next to the wall. And my father came out of the room and he's like, what's that? And I said, I don't know. Because I didn't want to tell him that, you know, it might be a demon at that time, because he wouldn't believe it. So I just dismissed that. From that day on, I started pushing closer and pushing myself to find God. And I give up every single thing. Every day I would read my Bible. Every day I would pray. I would try to live my life and not to sin at all. I give up all these things. That's the small thing, like when I get angry and whatnot. But after a while doing this, like, you know, sometimes you could find yourself slipping back into the world. So I started praying to God, you know, to show me, like, it had to walk in our path, and if He could, like, allow me to meet somebody that doing the same thing that I am doing right now, the same thing that I am experiencing, it would be comforting. So I prayed that. I went to sleep. Next day, as I'm on my lunch break in work, I'm walking on the road, and I'm just trying to avoid looking at these girls walking up and down, because in Caribbean these girls just very, you know. And as I'm walking down the road trying to avoid the gazing, a guy just walked past me, and it registered in my mind that, you know, the guy looked familiar. Like, so I stopped and looked back around, and something was telling me that it's Chris. And go and talk to him. I was uncertain if it was Chris, and I didn't like to disturb nobody just randomly. But it was really pushing me to go and speak to the person. So I ran back up the street and I asked him if his name was Chris, and so it was Chris. We talked for a while, gave me some pointers. That kind of established the faith. That kind of gave me the push that I was asking God for the night before. And with that now, everything just smooth sailing. I don't look back at all. I pray right through constantly. I teach people whenever I could teach people, because that gave me the push. And so far my life has been great, to be honest. I stopped seeing these things. You just feel like a piece of a pleasantness. It's unexplainable. So far life has been great, and I will never go back to the life I had before. Oh yeah, and one thing, while you're walking the straight and narrow path towards Jesus, Satan will send the things that in your life that you would have loved to get before. He will send everything that you wanted before while you're walking the straight and narrow, just to distract you. And it had a girl I liked a lot while I was younger, and this girl got my number, and she called me, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, how come this happening right now? This kind of weird, because I realized I was getting distracted, because I always wanted to be with this girl, to be honest. And just so she appeared out of nowhere. So as I'm speaking to her, she told me that she saw me in a dream, and, you know, she was wanting to talk to me for some reason, and she was interested again. I told myself that had to be the devil, that there's some kind of distraction. So I kept her at a distance. I didn't want to get too into it. Afterwards, it was revealed that it was actually a distraction. She was a waste of time. I didn't know, yeah. I like to speak bad about people, but that was the truth. So that was it. He was saying all the things I wanted before, just to pull you off the path. Keep your head on and pray to Jesus and always read the Bible.